So the thing about taking drugs really nice. You ever take a few drugs?
The problem with drugs is they're really fucking good.
Yeah, they just they turn everyone into a fucking idiot once they take it.
For an hour.
For an hour, for the rest of their fucking life.
For 6 hours. Yeah. Yeah, that is a weird thing about drugs. It's like, you're either going to be really cool for an hour or very sad for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I don't know what the policy is on Spotify and stuff with talking about drugs. But
there's a lot of podcasts where comics are talking about drugs and stuff.
Yeah, well, really? Comedians taking drugs?
I'm sure there is.
No, I had no idea. That doesn't sound like a likely story at all to me.
Well, I haven't heard it, but Joe Rogan, for instance, he talks about all the times he does like DMT and drugs.
Well,
and
but I was talking about comedians.
Yeah, fair enough. But he has actual comics on, and they talk about it.
That's true. Yeah.
So, like, it's the Joe Rogan defense. Like, well,
it opens up your mind, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I took some ayahuasca. Now I have a new 10 minutes.
Now I'm Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Now I'm Bob Dylan. Yeah. Yeah, we gotta deal with the fucking corruption, man. And after, or am I talking about Willie Nelson? I'm thinking Willie Nelson.
Oh, I like Willie Nelson.
Yeah, Willie Nelson. Yeah,
really cool, man.
Yeah, man.
Willie Nelson's cool.
He's an OG.
Yeah.
He's an original stoner.
But wouldn't you love like if someone like very clean went away to the drug trip and came back being like, I took a lot of drugs and I realized the government's shit.
Well, number one, it took you drugs to make you realize that's what it is. It sounds like in that case you needed drugs.
Not very quick on the uptake, are you?
No, just the take up or whatever. The uptake. No, I'm taking up drugs.
Oh,
but I'm sure.
What's your general opinion on drugs?
Not for everyone, but they work for me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, the type where it's like you've seen some. I mean, we've talked about it before, where it's like there's some people out there where it's like they have the stories like, oh, I can't do it anymore. I had a psychological break, and it's like, all right, well, that just wasn't for you then. And those same people do cocaine instead. So, so maybe it's like either no drugs or just finding the ones that work for you.
Yeah.
So it's you got to shop around.
I get you. I have a very simple opinion. For me, it's always been I've looked at them like roller coaster rides. I'm like, it's fun. And it's like a nice experiences, but like if you go to the theme park every day to do fucking ride the roller coaster, you're a pedophile,
Yeah.
Like,
all right, I'll be honest, it's a bit of a leap, but you're not wrong.
What I mean is like if you do them all the time, there's a problem.
It's not.
But if you do it once a year, once every 2 years, just to fucking have an experience, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I think like even Terrence McKenna, like the shroom doctor or whatever, he said that like there would be times where like people are reaching out to him, he's being like. They'll like send him emails, like long emails, just being like, I've taken shrooms like 5 days in a row. My life's still shit. And he's like, well, you're taking shrooms 5 days in a row like that. That's kind of your problem. Like, how about taxes? How about like paying your rent? That's a good shit.
That was your wife.
How's your wife? Well, still on drugs. That's the difference between me and her. She's on day 7.
That's how she puts up with me.
That might help as well.
Yeah, I guess it would help if you're someone's wife and the other husband's on drugs all the time. Probably make it very easy at a home, because they're just fucking.
You can't afford counseling. It's like divorces are balls.
Any of you are stuck in unhappy marriages, just buy some cocaine.
There you go. That'll speed up the divorce process. Right? Like that's how you just like streamline your divorce if you just take up cocaine.
Dude, the amount of paperwork you'll get done.
It won't be good, but it'll be done.
It'll be done.
Those papers will have stuff on it. A little bit of puke, a little bit of information.
A little bit of white powder.
A lot, but thankfully, white paper can't tell. They sent it into the government office. Like, well, what can you tell about this application? Well, number one, he's really cool. And number two, he needs to fill this out again.
Yeah, and I just have no idea why this marriage fell apart.
Yeah, both of them are so cool. Who would have thought? She does weed, he does coke. Yeah, you think it's like a perfect balance.
I never did drugs when I was a kid because when I was like, up until I was like 18 and I went to college, I was like a bit of a shit kid. I was like, fucking drugs are for losers. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to have even a drink because that's for losers.
Yeah.
And I went to college and I was like, nah, this is pretty cool. I remember because I started with just smoking weed and I was like a fucking huge ADD kid. I was like off the walls all the time, was just being an annoying weirdo.
Yeah. And
I started smoking weed and it became more normal. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it just levels you down,
Yeah, it's like this is pretty good.
It helps calibrate you to normalcy,
Yeah.
If you're a quiet person, you need coke. If you're a high energy person, you need weed. It's all about getting to the middle tolerable range.
I had my friend Tara. Have you ever met Tara?
We played Dungeons and Dragons once. She smashed my character's face into a wall. and then she just never showed up to that again.
That sounds like Tara.
That's my only experience with her, but she seems nice outside of the fucking
my friend Tara, when I first started college, for like the first 2 weeks, Tara used to hate me. She's like, he's so annoying. He won't shut up in class. He thinks he knows everything. And then one day we just randomly, like after class, we went to smoke a joint together. I never smoked before.
That was your first time?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then I smoked the joint and we just got on like a fucking house on fire. And she was like, you know what? You're actually pretty cool when you're...
He's all right, but he's missing something.
Yeah. And then ever since then, I just hung out with Tara and a couple of other friends every single day, just getting high. And that was my introduction to drugs. And
that's pretty funny, though, where it's just kind of like, you'd be great if you had like 20 less IQ points.
That's it. That's it.
Kind of it. Like, that's what my experience with weed, where it just makes me that much stupider, but sometimes you need that because you can overthink.
Even stupider?
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh,
Shocker.
Jesus.
We found a way. There's a will, there's a way. And my name is Will. And
then I went to college, and in college, we met a Swedish guy, like an older Swedish guy, who was dating a student, so he was living in the accommodation. And he turned out to be a bit of a fucking shithead, but that's neither here nor there.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Older Swedish guy dating a college girl. It's like, you mean to tell me he wasn't a great guy?
Living in student accommodation.
Yeah, that's sketchy.
But people would hang out in his house, and he'd just randomly have like shrooms or LSD and shit like that.
So the heavier stuff.
Yeah. And he would be like, hey, we can all get together. And this is something I hold to him. This is something I'll say positively. I'll say something negative about him in a minute, just to like give a bit of contrast of why he was bad. But this is something I hold in big respect, is that he taught me how to do drugs properly. Because he was like, look, when you're in college, a lot of people are going to want to like give you some LSD on a night out or give you like a bit of MDMA when you're in the club. Don't be doing that shit. Get into someone's house you trust. Get some blankets. Surround yourself with like 5 to 6 friends you really love. And then do it. And put on music. And you have a much better time. And we did that. We went to his house. There was loads of blankets, loads of friends. Tara was there and a lot of my other friends. We just did, I think, MDMA the first time. And it was just fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It was so nice. We're just being wholesome. I mean, I love you, man. No, I love you, man.
Yeah.
And it was nice. Nobody's freaking out. And then we did the same shrooms and LSDs also in his house. And it was both incredible. I think LSD is my favorite.
Oh, it's up there. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I got some. I can go tit for tat for you on that.
I did it LSD. And I remember I was talking to this guy. We call him Brat. We call him Brat for now. I was talking to this guy, and suddenly the LSD kicked in, and his face turned into like an orange that was still talking. Like, it just became so funny that I kept giggling at him.
Was this around the time like early YouTube, like Talking Orange or something like that? Was
that
like in the psyche?
I don't know what was in my psyche, but I just kept laughing. I was laughing for like a fucking 30 minutes straight. And I remember because all these, I had like loads of loose change in my pocket. And as I was laughing, all the loose change was falling out in my pocket. And then Tara started laughing. And she told me later that she looked at me and she saw a little leprechaun. It's all gold.
That's called foreshadowing.
Yeah.
She saw the future, man.
Yeah. And then she started laughing. And then like within 2 minutes, everybody in the room was nonstop giggling for 30 minutes. And it was fantastic.
Yeah, bro.
It was incredible.
No, that sounds good. You're dead right, though. It's about the environment. And I think I started earlier than you because I was in Florida at the time. I was in high school. And then, I'll talk about you were on the point about like the environment. Like there's my friend was fairly rich. Like this is the deal where it's like his parents had a big house, and then the guest house was his bedroom. And his parents would do the typical thing, like, listen, if you're going to do it, just do it. They were from Boston as well.
Yeah.
Listen, we just want you to do it here so you're safe, okay?
Like his parents.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
To be fair, I don't think they knew.
That's pretty cool.
To be fair, I don't think they knew we were doing, like, MDMA and acid. Like, they thought we were having, like, 2 brewskis and, like, okay, well, as long as it's here, we can keep track of it. But no, like, we were just, like the first time we did MDMA and stuff like that, we all did it together. His parents were out, so we were in the main house. And then we were all just sitting around, like, kind of nervous.
But you're not afraid that, like, you were all going to do the drugs and then, like, the parents walk in and, like, unzip.
We were hoping for that, actually. We're talking about MDMA here. I was like, oh god, this night is missing something.
Man, I really hope this doesn't turn into a fucking sex dungeon.
Wink. Wink. But the MDMA night, the first time we did it, we were all kind of scared doing it. But then what happened is MDMA takes like 30 minutes to 45. And we were all kind of nervous. Nothing happened. And then what happened is one of my friends went out to the trampoline and just started jumping. And something happened with like the up, down, up, down. He came back in, dude, guys, get on the fucking trampoline. That's what you needed. So apparently with MDMA, if you needed to kick in, just churn yourself up like a soda can and it'll just activate it like nobody's business. And like we all just started doing it. And it was just, it's happiness in a pill.
Yeah.
But it's one of those drugs as well where it's like it borrows happiness from tomorrow.
Yeah,
So you're exhausted the next day.
You empty the bucket of serotonin, and then you need to fill it back up for like the next day, and you're miserable.
Few days actually, I find like that's why you don't do it every day because then you're just run on empty. But yeah, so we were doing that, and then it was a few times like that. And the first time I did acid, it was with that friend's cousin. His name was Skip.
Was his family just like really into drugs or someone?
Well, here's the thing. His dad. This is his story here. His dad was like an 80s cokehead.
Oh,
and then
OG.
Yeah, one of the OG Florida. Well, no, he's in Boston, so like a Boston cokehead type of
done
thing.
coke in the 80s.
Yeah,
that's
like
very different.
But the thing
I used
is,
to get my dick sucked all the time.
A lot. Oh, he had like 4 or 5 different kids with 3 different women. So yeah, this is his dad,
and it didn't end at the dick sucking. Sometimes it was a bit of nothing.
A bit of nothing. As in, you didn't have sex with anyone? No.
Oh.
But the story with that guy though is like Shelly was his name, and then what he would do is like he got clean from coke, but then like the thing is he still had that cokehead energy, so he just threw it into his work and he like opened up a warehouse, and that's where he got his millions. So the cokehead energy sober, so he just became like a workaholic.
You made millions off of just like a warehouse.
Yeah, just transportation.
Dude,
like,
this is the most Boston motherfucker ever.
Literally,
dude. What the fuck?
He was a small guy too, still had the mustache and everything like that. And you always say like little quips, but you couldn't say shit. He's like, you just look at me and just be like, you need to eat more. Like, all right, thanks, Shelly. And then I'd be like pale. He's just like, for the love of God, you're in Florida, get some sun. I'll be like, all right, Shelly. You can't even say shit. It's like, all right, Shelly.
Would you eat something for God's sake?
Literally, I like that's like the way he said it. It was like it's not like I guess
it's a place I love. I guess
if you say some shit like that, you got to be all in. You got to just be like, this is exactly what I think about you. Then it's like, yeah, fair enough. But so that's where he got his money, and then so his nephew, my friend's cousin named Skip, he was like 22 at the time, and his angle was 17.
Was that his like actual real name, Skip?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, like,
it's like a citizen legal name.
That's all I've ever known him as. So, like, I'd be curious to check his like person. What if it's like Gerald? I don't know, but he went by Skip.
Did he get conceived on a skip, and his parents looked around and were like,
"This'll do."
Go by Skip.
This'll do. More or less. I mean, that's probably it.
Don't say that. Your poor friend. I'm sure he did get conceived on a skip.
You'd be fine though. Oh, funnily enough, he actually was an open mic comic at the time. We went to see a show, but that's another thing. But basically, there was one night there where like he would introduce us to the cooler drugs, and there was one night there. I don't know why he took a liking to me, but like all my friends were kind of like just drinking, doing a bit of weed. They're like, yeah, man, because they're all kind of like in the high school party era. But I guess he kind of saw something with me because I was just vibing, and he's like, yo, man, want to do some acid? And then I was the only one he gave acid to.
You never did it before?
No, I don't know. That was the first time I did it was Skip. And then the thing is, though, it's like, he's like, come with me. We're going on a fucking journey. So we go in the car and we just drive, and I'm just tripping balls on acid. Like,
was he tripping as well?
I think so.
He was driving you while he was tripping.
Yeah, don't condone this. Like,
no,
this is
that's just nearly impressive. How the fuck? You can barely see shit. Like,
it's in the blood, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like if the 80s cokehead genes are so strong and resilient, like the guy was fine. And then he took us to like South Beach. He had like a friend who was like a marketing guy, and his girlfriend was a model. And we just played beer pong there the whole time. And like, I guess
that sounds pretty sick.
No, it was actually chill.
That sounds pretty sick.
And I actually found it to be kind of a nice change of pace, because you know yourself when you're like hanging out with 17-year-olds, like if you're in it and you're just like, yeah, man, all you do is party, play beer pong, do all this shit. And I was just thinking like, I'm just trying to vibe out.
Yeah.
So again, we'll get into this longer, but for whatever reason, I can take drugs like a champ, because I was just vibing out and beating this guy at beer pong and stuff like that. And he's like, yo, man, this guy's fucking sick. And then we went back, and then all my friends were just like, where'd you go? And I was like, I just did acid with Skip, and we went to South Beach. And he's like, the fuck? You know, because I had the sickest night of them all. I
just went to the Skip and did acid with South Beach. You'll never believe it.
For the most part, yeah. And I think my friend Josh was actually a bit disappointed as well, because it's like, your cousin, you didn't bring me. It's like, now this James could do, this Canadian is just sick as fuck. And I was like, all right, I'm vibing. And so we got it. I had that whole nice experience. But going back to what you were saying, like the first few times, like you do need trusted people, good environment. I don't know if fucking going in a car to driving for an hour going to South Beach is a self environment, but it felt like that. Like I just rolled with it.
Yeah.
I think that's the key with drugs. If you try to fight it, you're fucked. But if you go with it, it's fine.
Did it kick in during the drive then?
Oh, yeah.
It's insane to me that he could drive a car while on acid. That's
He'd done it before.
Crazy.
He had done
Yeah,
it
but
before.
even if he's done it before, because like all you see is like colors and shapes, right? Is that what you saw? That you saw like shapes and colors?
Oh yeah, and especially when you're driving at night, like just down like Florida as well as like a very like lit up, colorful sort of like place. So like just all that was just going, and I was just like, all right, this is what I'm doing.
From what I got explained to me, that it like tranquilizes like parts of your brain. It tranquilizes parts of your brain that does like the auditory stuff, and that's why your vision and everything gets fucked because your brain is like kind of going at half speed.
Mm-hmm.
But only like parts of your brain. So the rest of your brain is still like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And the other half is like, relax. Look at the colors.
yeah. It just kind of like fucks with the knobs, like on the soundboard. It's like, this goes up, this goes down, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then some people, that works out well. I think it works out well for me. But then some people, this is a bit of a disclaimer. Don't just dive into shit like that.
You ever see any freaky shit on LSD? Let's stay on LSD for now before we move on to another one. But you ever see any freaky shit?
No, man. Because for me, like, it fucks with my visuals a little bit. But then for the most part, I'm just happy and just joyful. Like, like a lot of drugs like that different drugs have this similar effect where I'm just like, I just become a bit more grateful. Man. I
have two things. One's the quicker one. I was cutting up a bread roll. I was trying to make the bread roll
as you do,
bacon and ketchup because I was hungry.
That's a side effect of acid. It makes you a baker.
Yeah, no, I was just hungry. So I was cutting up this bread roll, trying to put some bacon, some ketchup in, you know. And then as I was standing over the sink cutting up this bread roll, I looked down at my wrists and there was like blood streaming out of my wrists. I was like, oh, fuck. And then one of my housemate came in and what he just saw me with the knife in my hand and the bread roll in my other hand, just standing over the sink, freaking out. He's like, you're fine, bro. You're not injured at all.
Oh, you saw the blood?
Yeah, it wasn't there at all. No, it was just in my head. But I thought I was dying. I was freaking the fuck out. And then he had to calm me down for a minute. I was like, okay, it's all good.
No, thank God, because honestly, shit like that is like, that's like the worst case scenario. Like, as soon as real shit happens, you're on drug, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd handle this sober, let alone.
That's what I thought.
All right, that's good to hear that didn't fucking actually
No,
happen.
of course. I mean, how? It was like a fucking butter knife, you know? It wasn't.
Still, if you try hard enough, you could, you know?
And then,
you gotta want it, though.
And then the other thing I saw, and this was the really kind of crazy one, was it was in this old Swedish guy's flat. I went to the toilet. Because I was like feeling a little poopy coming, so I went to the toilet to get rid of a little poopy. And as I was in the toilet, I was sitting there. I closed my eyes because I was pressing so hard, and I opened my eyes, and legit, I closed my eyes in the bathroom, open my eyes. I'm in a desert. I look around me. There's just wasteland all around me, and then I look down, and I'm a lizard, and I'm not taking a shit. I'm laying an egg. And I'm like in this, like in my head, I'm like, oh shit, this is what I gotta do. Gotta keep the fucking breed going. Gotta keep the species going.
And I gotta look after this. I'm a mother now.
And I get really into it. I'm like,
Anyone knock on the door, just be like, everything okay?
No.
I'm with child. Leave me alone.
No one knocked straight away because I was just, the poo came out like a bowling ball as well, so it felt like an egg. It felt like I was laying an egg. And then I walked out, and then people were like, were you okay? All we heard was you going,
and then you're just like, well, I'm now a mother, so.
I'm a lizard.
Was this around the time like Rango was out or something like that?
Dude, stop. No, this has nothing to do with movies.
I always think there's like, I'm always looking for like correlations or something like that. Like, do you see some shit that kind of like just.
I don't know if it meant anything. I think I just have a very creative brain, and my brain was like, it'd be cool to show him this. Oh, it'd be so sick if he saw this.
Did you feel like grateful to be back? Oh, thank God I'm not in the desert and I'm not a mother. I'm not ready to be a lizard mother, you know?
I think an underrated part of LSD as well, that's not talked about often, is like once the visuals kind of stop, you know, you still have like 4 or 5 hours left in the tank.
Yeah.
Where you just get like small visuals and you see like patterns light up, or you see like small things move. And I think that's a really underrated part because that's actually really fun.
Because that's been more tame.
Yeah.
You know, because then like that's where you can go like, if you first take acid, like you're at a party, for instance, you got to be away from the party for an hour and a half, 2 hours. But then after that,
you're going to just see shapes.
And then after that, you're just like, oh, I'm just at a party, but it's squiggly. You
know?
It balances out a bit more if you can let me come down.
I would, because it is a bit like if you smoke 50 joints in a row. That's a bit what it's like.
Yeah.
I was sitting in this circle of people smoking cigarettes, and they had like a little bowl in the middle that used as an ashtray, right? And I was sitting there, and the bowl was right in the middle here, and I just started doing this with my hand.
So like, damn it.
And everybody realized I was still seeing visuals. So one of them gave me a first edition of Watchman, the comic.
Oh,
I was like, here, have a flick through this. And man.
Comics and acid sound like a great.
Unbelievable. You can't read the text really, but you're just going like, oh my God.
You get the vibe.
Well, yeah.
This guy's not happy.
Yeah, but that's like, I think all the wildest visuals I've gotten. Have you seen anything really crazy?
Well, we'll get into that a bit later on, but one
that's LSD for now.
Well, not exactly LSD, but like when I went to Amsterdam that one time, I was studying in Limerick, and I went with 2 Canadian girls at the time, and then basically what we had done is like obviously smoking a bunch of weed and just going around, eat pastries, good time. But then on the second night we did truffles. Well, I had smoked so much weed, I forgot about the truffles. So when they finally kicked in, I was just walking through Amsterdam. I was like, oh, fuck, why is everything just kind of like... And then it took me like 4 or 5 minutes just like internally freaking out. And then it clicked for me. Oh, yeah, wait, nope, that would be the shrooms. Yeah, okay. And as soon as I realized, oh, okay, that's just what happened.
Yeah.
It got it like lined out a bit better. So as long as like you have the perspective.
Shrooms are a bit different though. We can get into shrooms now. I think that's
man,
end on LSD there. I guess before I stop talking about LSD, I do want to say this is that LSD is really dangerous. Like if you end up getting addicted to it, because it is addictive, and if you end up getting addicted, you do it all the time. Like that's how people turn crazy.
Yeah.
Like if any watches, if you ever see like a crazy guy walk around your town who's just fucking demented crazy, there's a high chance that he spent like 2 months of his life doing LSD every day, because it will just fry your brain. Your brain is fucked.
Your brain can't handle that. Yeah,
you're fucked. I had a guy. I had a friend. He's not my friend anymore. I don't know. I think he's completely gone off the deep end. He might be in prison now or some shit. I don't know what the fuck happened to him. And he was completely normal guy. And then everyone in college started doing drugs, and he just did LSD like every single day for a while. Yeah. And there was a time where he was knocking at my front door at 6 a.m. because he was freaking out, and he was like, "No, I need to see people." And I was like, "Man, you need to go home.
Yeah, no kidding.
You need to go home. This is not good.
Not even like home is in the college campus. Like home's your parents.
Oh, your parents. Like, this is not good.
Just get some good food in you. Like, stay away from everything.
Because I think it's important to mention is like, because drugs are so cool, but like moderation is so important.
Yeah, that is an important takeaway. Like, I think one thing that always freaked me out. Not freaked me out, but I always just knew from ahead of time was a problem. It was like and like sometimes like we were like buying like MDMA off a drug dealer.
Yeah,
we'd be picking up at like 12 because we're going to a festival on the weekend. But he's rolling at like tripping balls on like MDMA, listening to like fucking bass, drum and bass at like 12 o'clock on a Tuesday. And even then I was just like, all right, drugs aren't that cool. Like, come on, like, bro, you do need to feel like that.
Yeah,
on
that's
a Tuesday.
That's like, definitely a thing. We had a lot of our drug taking was happening in college as well, because we kept hanging out with this drug dealer.
As you do.
He was doing.
That's what college is for.
He was doing it's actually quite funny. He was doing my film degree a year below me, so he was doing the same degree a year below. That's how we all knew him. And he was kind of a rich kid.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he just kind of made it his hobby to buy like huge bricks of fucking drugs. And he had all these bricks in his fucking cupboard, just like in his wardrobe. Like,
yeah, that's wild.
And people would just go down there and start doing shit. And it's just fucking insane, because he would wake up and like snort a line of coke. Like every single day.
That's one way to make friends.
Yeah, dude.
Like they're not really your friends.
Fucking terrible. And he ended up he was the same story. He was a very nice guy when he first, very nice, understood guy. By the end of it, he was raging dickhead.
Yeah.
He like beat his girlfriend and shit. Like he turned a complete asshole. And I have no thought in my mind that before any of this, he had never even had a girlfriend, you know? Like he was like a super nerdy, like fucking it's crazy what it does to people.
Yeah, just because it just knocks you off your kilter. And some people that's good because you get like that extra perspective. But yeah, too much, then it's like your brain is an organ. It can only handle so much. The same with alcohol, right? Like your intestines, your liver, like they can only take so much. Like you're just what do you like? You're a ball of flesh. Like you only fuck with that so much before you done.
It's that like, especially people who turn into like the supplier. I think they get a lot of social capital that they didn't have before, and they don't know how to deal with it. And the drugs make them like very delirious, you know. And
a basic example is weed dealers. I mean, one of the cliches is just like the weed dealer. You go over and buy weed, but then like he thinks you're friends.
Your buddies.
Yo, man, you want to watch this movie? Watch The Avengers on a 3D TV? And you're like, nah, man. I've just kind of wanted you for drugs.
Do you ever have the weed dealer that you want to be friends with though?
A couple times, yeah. Oh man, well, that in Canada's very good for that. Where like I knew this one of my best weed dealers there before it became legal was a guy I just knew from the gym.
Yeah.
So I used to run back and forth from the gym, and then one day he just sort of picked me up in his truck, and he's like, "Yo, you need a lift or something like that? You live really close to me." He had a J like ready to go in the car, and I was like, "Fuck, I was gonna do that anyway. That's perfect."
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys who like grew weed plants in his backyard before it was like, you know, legal and stuff like that. And so he's like a nice holistic weed dealer. And we just have cool chats. You know, he was Croatian originally, like but you know, Canadian in culture and stuff like that. We just fucking hung out and like that there's some like that where it was an absolute treat actually. What, gin? Oh, you alcoholic. You have a problem. It's going to knock you off your kilter, man. I'm losing you, Dan. I'm losing you. You need to go home to Germany.
I still don't know whose gin it is, but this is the same gin from episode 1 for people who've listened.
It's yours now.
Yeah, hey. But I had a dealer as well. Everybody just called him Jay, which is definitely not his name. But that's what everybody called him.
Because of weed. And Jay, sick.
And he was like a really cool guy. He was like really cultured, cool guy. He clearly only dealt weed because he smoked a lot himself, you know, but he's like very well-adjusted dude, very successful, had a nice house and everything. And I just wanted to hang out with him. And then one day I actually got to, he actually was like, "I'll stay around." And he showed me Atlanta, you know, that show?
Yeah,
that was the first time we got introduced to him. He's like, "You gotta watch this, man. I think as a film student, you love this." And then he passed me this fucking blunt. You know, he passed me this, like, I've never had a smoked a blunt before, and it wasn't just it was like this fucking, like, like a cigar wrap, you know?
Oh, man, that's Florida way, though.
Boy, I took, like, one puff, and I was like, oh, shit, I gotta look cool.
Because the paper itself... Wait, they don't do that at the show?
I got a cold.
Oh, see, that's why, like, over here, you guys say blunts isn't, like, you know, just pure weed. But over there, back in, like, Florida, like, for instance, like, the one I got a weed dealer's name who's fucking aligned with that. But they have this thing called cigarillos, which is like cheap cigars. You buy them to slice down the middle, take out the tobacco, and throw in the weed.
Yeah.
And the paper actually gives you that extra kick.
They have a joke about that in Atlanta. You ever see that episode where they have like an ad for one of the cigarillos? Yeah. And the whole ad is them cutting them up.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
So easy to cut.
Yeah. That's what it's for. Like, no one actually smokes tobacco in those things.
Yeah.
But my one weed dealer that I had down in Florida, another one just spontaneous. He's a guy, Spliff.
Ah.
Yeah, his name literally came up to me, and he was just kind of like,
"Spliff, go fuck yourself."
Yeah, exactly. I threw in the "go fuck yourself."
Oh.
He never went by that. I just thought it was a funny way to say it. But like one time,
that is better. Spliff, go fuck yourself was a great name.
Just rolls off the tongue. In fact, I might reach out to him. It's like, you ever consider saying "go fuck yourself"?
Hey, I've been thinking about changing my stage name, and if you're not too married to Spliff, do you mind if I
say, "Hi there, my name is James. Go fuck yourself."
Hi, my name is James. Spliff, go fuck yourself.
Come from a long line and go fuck yourselves. My father was a go fuck himself, and his father before him.
What a lot of people don't know, it's actually a name that comes from the natives in Canada. So if you make any fun of it, it's pretty disrespectful.
Absolutely.
If you make any fun of it, you can go fuck yourself.
This is my culture, okay?
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
Fucking myself is a big part of who I am, and I will not be silenced. I fuck myself every day if I can. But like, he was a guy, like another one. I don't know why, like, I don't know, maybe I have more approachable energy, but like I lived in a communal, like an apartment complex, and there's a communal pool. I was just walking back to the pool, and he was just talking with a friend. He's like, "Yo, check it, man, have a good one." And he just runs up to me, yo, you buy weed? And I was like, "I do now." Like, it worked out perfectly. He's like, "All right, sounds good." And then he was one of those guys where like he just, I don't know, just worked out perfectly. There's one time where I bought weed off him, and for an unrelated reason, there's a police officer in the area.
Yeah.
So we just sort of like, oh fuck, we just started fucking running and stuff like that and everything. And I just realized, like, I've never ran from the police before. Yeah. Like, oh wow, that was fun one to check out.
I shared a real moment with this guy.
No, it was a nice bonding moment. It's like, damn, that was close, dude.
I have to say this now, Mr. Go Fuck Yourself. You one hell of a guy.
Oh man, and then, like, I got cred because like,
listen here now, Mr. Go Fuck Yourself.
Yeah. No, go fuck.
You're one of my best friends.
Actually, it's go fuck ourselves, actually. We're a unit now. But the thing is, like, he became like my friend's like weed dealer or something, and he'd be one of those guys where like we would go to like the Promenade, which is like a central shopping area type of thing. The Promenade is what it was called. And then but he was the guy that was like, yo, I gotta go out back into this like area that was behind the Promenade.
Was that in Florida?
Yeah.
Why do they have a place in Florida that's fancy enough to be called the Promenade?
A lot of it is like fancy enough to be called that. You'd be surprised what gets. You'll be surprised what passes as fancy in Florida. It's a very low bar. But the thing is, like, behind this area, he was like, "Yo, man, I gotta run back. Hey, actually, you guys like Yu-Gi-Oh?" I was like, what? You're like, what? So you're like Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, and Nintendo 4. And so like there was like this hub of like fucking, I don't know, like preteen activity going on with all these drug deals and stuff like that just behind the promenade. And we were just, and like he goes out and gets it, and then just like my friend like, yo, you got Yu-Gi-Oh? like we're half joking like, you want to play some Yu-Gi-Oh? And to this day, I kind of wish I did.
Dude, no, how the fuck did you not go with him?
Well, because
that's really dude. I'm so angry at you.
I know.
I would do that now.
I know. Oh, now,
if
I wasn't as cool back then. I don't know.
If Sir Spliffington, go fuck yourself, walked into this room right now,
I'd take him up.
And be like, hey, you guys want to smoke some weed and play some Yu-Gi-Oh? I'd be like, fucking, let's go.
Yeah,
the podcast is off.
Honestly, yeah. No, the podcast would be us playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Like we're not even just put the mics down and just like, you've activated my trap card.
You never saw this coming, Spliff. Go fuck yourself.
But I fucking loved how like there was just like this underground like seedy fucking Yu-Gi-Oh element at play in Florida. And I was just like, what kind of world are we potentially dipping into?
They're taking bets over and unders.
For the most part.
Ooh.
And I think that was kind of what threw me off. Like, what if it was like, you ever see that show like Deer Hunter? Where it's like the stakes are raised? It kind of gave me that vibe where it's just kind of like, you know, whoever loses this duel, like fucking, or like, I guess like loses a finger. It's like, I like Yu-Gi-Oh! Not that much, you know? Like, that was me making assumptions, but it was like, but that was the kind of characters I fucking grew up with. Spliff, go fuck yourself. Good to see you, man.
What's the, you've done, MDMA, Mandy, Molly?
Yeah,
Molly, as they say in America.
Yeah, that's it. Well, MDMA apparently
is Molly Percocet.
Yo, Percocet.
Chase a check. Never chase a bitch. Woo! We're so white, dude. We're so fucking white.
That was kind of, maybe I was aware of that, so I was like, I don't want to do it too much because that looks weird, but I'm happy to be. I'd be like that white guy, like,
hey, Percocet.
Yeah.
Molly Percocet.
All they do is fuck, baby. All they do is drugs. I'm just happy to be here. I just hope everyone's having fun. You know, I would be the token white guy in all these situations.
You'd see like a group of rappers. Oh wow, look, your fucking antivirus has come up now, James.
Oh, God.
That's so awkward for the podcast. Everybody who's listening to the audio, switch to the YouTube version now, and you can see James lean into the podcast going,
That's what you're missing. That's what you're missing. That's why you gotta...
But, back to the topic. You'd be the sort of guy, you'd see like a fucking collective of rappers, like a young rap gang
for the most part,
and you'd be like, they got a lovely band.
Yeah.
I love this ensemble.
I swear, I'm like Neil Brennan. I'm like Neil Brennan on the Chappelle Show. I'm just that one guy. Like,
Neil Brennan.
I don't know why they just love me. I'm just happy to be here. I'm not gonna just be rude.
Neil Brennan, the GOAT, dude.
Yeah.
We Molly. Let's talk about Molly. We gotta keep it on track. We gotta get through all the drugs, man. Molly is a good one because it makes you feel really warm and lovely.
Yeah.
But I think it's also a dangerous one because Molly is something that I'd be very afraid of taking if I'd be out getting a club, you know.
It takes away your inhibition.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I like even if you're not a creepy person, like maybe you take it and you think like, I'm a lovely person. That girl over there is a lovely person. I'm gonna go show her some love. Sexual assault. Like, you know, you just
even the other way. I feel like it's very easy to be taken advantage of if you're on Molly.
Oh, yeah.
Like if someone slipped a bit of Molly into your drink and then a girl would try really hard to get off with you all night, you could be like the best, like most well-adjusted guy, no intentions of like doing anything wrong or like cheating on your girlfriend or anything. Like if they put enough Molly in your system, they can make it happen. And that's what really scares me about it, you know? It's really easy to take advantage.
Yeah.
Like that's like a very dangerous like sexual assault drug, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Oh man, like it's so like that's the thing where it's like I like how we keep on doing the duality where it's like there's a fun aspect to drugs, but like keep in mind there is a seedy under element, a seedy flip side.
That would be my main advice for anyone listening to this. Is like any of those drugs, man, just be in a fucking room with friends. Don't be out. Don't be doing this shit at clubs. There's some way it's okay, like cocaine, that's fine. Because if you do, because let's be honest, if you do cocaine, the only thing that really happens is your mind's like a little bit more fucking. But you're like, you're not.
Certain people might get into fights and shit.
Yeah,
certain people.
But those people get into fights without cocaine as well. Who the fuck are we kidding?
But more fights. You're turning it up. It's like, all right,
okay.
You elbowed me 2 hours ago, like on the way here. Now we're gonna give you cocaine.
Right. Fair point.
You know what I mean?
Completely fair point. I still think it's you can't really take advantage of someone on cocaine because they'll punch you.
Oh, they'll take advantage of you. That's the flip side. You spit a finger of cocaine or something like that. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to take him up. No, he's going to take you to the hospital.
But shit like Molly and especially shit like LSD, if you're taking LSD in a club, you're going to be you're going to be not in the real world for like 30 minutes. There's like 30 minutes in this nightclub where anybody could rob anything you have or take any sort of advantage of you because you're not in the real world, you know? Like that's why I think it's important. If you do any drugs, do it in your bedroom with your dad.
With your dad?
With your friend's dad.
With your friend's cousin, who's 5 years older than you, and for some reason, no one questions it.
You need a hit, go call Skip.
That's not bad, actually. I'm going to run that by him. It's like, if you want to start like a production company or something like that.
What's the word? Trip sitter.
Trip sitter. Oh, yeah. One person who's sober and just kind of
That's my other advice. Always have a trip sitter. It's so important.
At least the first time where it's like...
Do it. No, every time. I just think it's so dumb when people don't have a trip sitter around because, like, even the most experienced drug users, there is like a fucking 20% chance that at any moment someone could flip into a bad trip. It can just happen like that. And all you need is one guy who is sober to be like, okay, this is silly. Because if everybody else is on drugs and one person flips, it's so easy for it to domino, you know?
Yeah, it kicks it up to like 11, like, which is, again, like it's a tricky situation to deal with that sober when it's freaking out. But then it's like if everyone's kind of fucked up, it's just kind of like, shit, I'm not ready to deal with the situation sober now.
And it's so easy. If you have one sober guy to just go, you have a bad trip, that's all the person on drugs needs to hear. The second day, get it in their head, oh no, this is just a bad experience. No, this is real. It's like safe. It's fine then, you know?
But absolutely. And then on that same note, though, I mean, that's where you can really get the most positive out of it. I mean, like, look at all the studies coming out of like Colorado and stuff like that, where they're experimenting with like psilocybin and MDMA to treat PTSD, which before there was such a stigma against it. Like, no, drugs are bad. But it's like, what happens to a guy who's like shell shocked from war and now can like learn to love again?
Yeah, that shit is just cool, though. I'm really behind that stuff.
100%. Yeah.
Why are therapeutic shit is really cool. Yeah.
It's better than like antidepressants, which just fucking turn you into a zombie.
Yeah.
You know, I think that ideally we should try to be bringing people up to a healthy mind state. We shouldn't be trying to bring them down to a place where they're like socially acceptable.
I think that's another case with supervision, you know, where there's supervision. And I think that's just so important. I think supervision is really, really important. And that's why it's good to not do it in nightclubs or parties. Or
I like you say that as well. Supervision. Just one guy.
I did 5 bombs of cocaine. I can see so good.
Dude, someone's gonna knock at the door. I can see the future. Bro, someone's knocking on the door right now. Told you.
I can see the future.
Supervision. I've never broken it down like that, but that is true.
I can see the future.
It's like, hey, man, we got this guy. He's doing vision. Nah, man, we need supervision in this situation. Normal vision ain't gonna cut it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I think Molly is a good one, but don't do that. Be careful with that.
Well, on that same note, though, I mean, like one of my favorite sort of festival experiences is candy swapping or whatever. Candy flipping, whatever, where you do acid and MDMA. Again, that's
advanced only.
Yeah, that's advanced.
No beginner shit here.
Yeah. Thankfully, I'm really fucking cool. So, like, because it's one of those.
I can tell by these socks.
I don't give a. Oh, and the sandals as well. I do not give a fuck. I am high right now from drugs I took 10 years ago. You couldn't even tell. I don't know why I was texting for that. There we go.
I'm tripping. Those socks look like the beautiful colors of the American flag.
I just having a good time by and by. Just looking forward here. Just going down the bayou.
Every time I'm high, I like to imagine myself on top of the wall shooting illegal immigrants.
In a good way.
In a good way.
No, but like,
it's healing.
Yeah, so that's a fun one because like that's where like if you're advanced level of drugs, like because acid, the concern is like you're gonna have a bad trip because your head goes in a negative headspace, and as soon as that happens, the world falls down. But MDMA/Molly, they kind of guarantee you're gonna be in a happy headspace. So that kind of like it kind of counteracts the negative aspects of the two. But then the next 2 days you're done. Like, mentally, energy-wise, I'm like, I can't. No, I'm not doing anything there. So, like, again, advanced users only. Use responsibly as best you can. 2 of them. Please do drugs responsibly, or don't be a fucking uncool.
Or not at all. If you don't want to, just don't do them. Really, that's another thing. Yeah. Like some people, it's just not for you. You know, some people are just I don't know. But I would kind of recommend everybody tries it once. I don't know. I feel like you gotta try it once to see if you like it.
Well, it's it's like they say, like weed is a gateway drug. Like, see how you handle weed first, and then like if you think like
I don't never like that. I don't feel like weed is a gateway drug because I think weed is below alcohol. I think weed is so harmless. Like I smoke a J, I'm fine.
Well, the way
I smoke a J, like I think weed is like super harmless. I think a good gateway drug to me was always shrooms. Shrooms doesn't come with a bad hangover.
That's when you realize, this is what they mean by drugs.
Yes.
Yeah, I see what
it's
you mean.
It's not too strong. You're not like only seeing shapes.
But I feel like weed leads to shrooms, leads to other things. Whereas like alcohol leads to cocaine, leads to domestic violence.
That's the two.
Like,
it's like
two trees.
It's like a Pokemon evolution.
It's like a skill trees in Skyrim or something.
Yeah. It's like the Pokemon evolution. You can either evolve into a cokehead or you can evolve into a hippie, and that's the two parts.
Level 99 drunk driving.
Acid driving, new skill acquired.
Oh no, I don't condone it, but if you see like one of the greats at it, you can't help but be impressed. You're like, how the fuck? How many did you have again?
I'm glad I know his name because I want to know how to address the king when I meet him.
He goes by Skip or a blowjob.
Skip, go fuck yourself.
Skip, go fuck yourself. They're related.
They're related.
Flip and Skip. How did I not see that? Shit, he was playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Damn it, we've just been like, Skip? Yo, man, fuck, what's up, dog? He's about to play my Dark Magician.
I think that's enough on Molly. We should do shrooms, maybe.
Shrooms is a good one.
Shrooms. Oh, before we stop Molly, another thing about Molly, if you do Molly with a lot of your friends, people might take off their clothes.
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna happen.
And like be chill about it.
Oh my god,
be like chill about it. Like if people like on Molly, people start sweating very badly, and then sometimes people just take off their fucking shirts and shit.
Chewing their cheeks and shit like that.
Just be chill about this stuff. Don't get freaked out by any of that. Yeah, that's completely normal. Like if you
that's why you need to get gum.
If you're getting weirded out by that, then you're the problem. You know what I mean? Like that shit is just fine. If you're on Molly, whatever helps you deal with the fucking sensation your body has is fine.
Yeah.
As long as they're not erupting in an orgy in front of you, you should just be chill.
Yeah. If you start freaking out to that, take up slam poetry. That's your drug. And that's fine. That's why it's there for. You get a scarf, nice and safe. It's warm. But
I remember the first time I took Molly, one of the girls we took it was really sweaty. She was like, do you guys mind if I just get my tits out? Like, not in a weird way. I'm just really sweating. I can't deal with it. And I remember because I was like,
you don't want to be rude.
I remember because I was like really like awkward and I hadn't had many experiences yet. So I was like, oh, Jesus, this is got to be weird. But then it was just chill. It's like, oh yeah, I guess the titty's out. That's fine. If it helps you deal with the sweat, nobody is being a weird perv about this. It's just okay.
That's kind of cool because like drugs kind of show you it's just like the fallacy in society.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, why is that a weird thing? Yeah, why can't they just have
we put the apple back, dude.
Yeah.
We went back into the Garden of Eden and we stuck the apple back on the tree. It's fine. You don't need to wear clothes.
A little bit of masking tape. See, no harm, no foul, right, God? No.
But I've never even talked to a snake. What are you talking about? I don't know any snake.
You see a snake? Get the fuck. You just kick it.
What? Snake, go fuck yourself.
Snake, go fuck yourself. Same guy. He was in that back room. Snake, go fuck yourself.
All related.
It all comes full circle, baby. This is the world of drugs, my guys.
But that's the last thing I'd say about Molly. Really, is that happens.
One thing I will say on this last note for me though, it's like it is kind of, you see how crazy it is when you're sober and you're seeing some other people. Like I remember one time, like my friend, I shouldn't say names, or whatever, but like
just give him a fake name.
Let's call it Garrett. Actually his name. But like he had a sister who was like 2 years younger than him, and then her, like we were a year ahead of her, so like her friends, we saw them do their first MDMA experience, and it was his sister, her friend, and another guy friend. And what happened is like they were doing it in a car and they put on like loud music. And we check in. Number one, the windows are steaming because they're all sweating.
Yeah.
But then they all have their shirts off and they're just humping the chairs. And we're just like, I guess this is fine, but like, oh,
that's a bit weird. Why are they humping the chairs?
That's what it does. It makes you horny. I suppose.
Yeah, but that's a bit weird. Why the chairs? Like,
I was just kind of like, just.
What the fuck? That's a bit weird.
I was like, all right, that's gnarly. I agree. But I was like, I couldn't judge too much. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I did some weird shit when I first did it. I don't think I humped any chairs.
No, dude, that's weird. I'm so this MDMA is making me so I'm gonna go hump a chair.
I don't know. It hasn't. That's literally it. And the worst part is like, his sister was in the past.
Are you like enjoying this? I'm enjoying this.
No, the worst part was that his sister was like literally in the front seat, and what she do is like every once in a while she like honk the horn.
Yeah.
She's like, and then it's just like, wow, someone's horny.
that
That was the joke of the night. Oh, someone's horny. And
Yeah.
then she was like dead the next day. It's like, you have a good time last night? Yeah, Jesus Christ, we got to trade in that Land Cruiser. Why is it sticky? How about we'll take $1,000 off the price if you ask no questions.
Well, there was no incest, but it got close.
Yeah, it was pretty. Oh no, he wasn't in the car. No, it wasn't like that. It was her.
Okay, that's
her friend,
relaxing.
It was her friend, and her other friend on their, like, they were in their own journey. They're all a year younger than us.
Were they all girls or was it a mix?
Two, like, sister, girlfriend, and then a guy friend. The guy friend is in the back, and he was the guy.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
gnarly. I forgot his name, but I never looked into the same after that. I was just kind of like,
I don't think you ever want to remember the name after that.
Take a seat is more of a challenge with that guy. He's just like, oh, don't tempt me.
Take a seat.
She's a great listener.
Take a seat.
Take a seat, so long as it's consenting. That's the big one. Do you use protection? Yeah, I had my seatbelt on.
Yeah. we don't want to fucking come back in 9 months and you got little Ottomans running around.
Yeah. I don't know, but like the airbag went off. It's just kind of like, now that's a blowjob.
Shrooms. We should move on to shrooms.
Shrooms are good.
Shrooms
Yeah, I like
go
that.
on. Shrooms. I think shrooms is probably like the most wholesome one.
Yeah,
It's very
honestly.
hard to have a bad experience on shrooms, and even if you do, shrooms is like it's not that strong. Like people think shrooms is really strong,
It depends on how much you take.
but
Obviously,
even
yeah.
then, like a little fucking tiny sliver of acid has like the same effect as like a load of shrooms. You know.
Yeah, like a heavy trip.
If
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing a few shrooms, even if you have a bad experience on a few shrooms, you're going to be fine. You're not going to be freaking out too hard. The most you see when you're tripping on shrooms is like the last time I did shrooms, I saw like the outlines of the mustard and the veins of my hand were like more pronounced, and like that was kind of cool.
Yeah, we just like
Yeah,
hyper focus and stuff like
hyper-focus,
that. Yeah.
but that's really it. You're not seeing crazy shapes or anything.
Well, there's something holistic about shrooms in particular because it comes from the earth, and it's like there. You can tell there's a natural element to shrooms that you don't have in acid. Like the way I describe it is like
There's
acid.
an element in shrooms.
There's an element. The IRA are active and well in the shrooms world. No, but I always felt like the big difference I always felt between shrooms and acid, although on paper they have similar experiences, it always felt like acid was like an assault on your brain to some degree, where it was like shrooms just kind of like was a bit more holistic and came up. I don't know, it's kind of vague, but like, you know what I mean? Like shrooms kind of worked with your broad body and mind, like whatever it's working with, are like, okay, I'll play around with this. Acid just like, you are now fucking a lizard.
Yeah.
You just have to deal with it, you know?
Hey, you're a lizard now.
That's it. Yeah.
Look at this guy. He's
And
a
if
lizard
you're cool,
now.
you're like, I guess I'm a fucking lizard.
What are you doing? Laying an egg?
Call me Rango. You know?
You're laying an egg or something, eh?
Did you perch on the fucking thing?
Yeah. Hey, look at this
That's a
guy.
word.
Hey, look at this guy humping a chair.
Maybe. Yeah.
Who's
Fuck.
this guy humping a chair? Why don't you hump a broad?
They might have laid an egg. We didn't we weren't watching the whole trip. We just like checked in every once in a while. We weren't just sitting there like, look at them. Those animals.
What do you call it when a woman from New York goes traveling to Europe?
What?
Traveling abroad.
Ha! Bing! High five. That would kill in the 90s, bro. Fuck yeah.
But what do you call the sword of a female barbarian?
What?
A broadsword. All right, back to drugs.
Really? If you got any more.
No, that's all I got, broadly speaking.
Oh, when he thought he had him gone.
Yeah, bringing it back. Shrooms, good review. I think shrooms is probably like one of the top tier drugs. Let's be honest. Like shrooms is just, it's easy to take. They're easy to find. You can just pick them in the fucking wild.
Yeah.
You literally just find them. They're very little risk and good times.
I think the
Shrooms-
big risk with shrooms isn't with shrooms himself. It's like if you're it works with what you got. So
Yeah.
if you're in a good headspace, it's amazing. If you're in a bad headspace, it might accentuate that.
Yeah, but it's even then, it's like a lot less bad than other chemical drugs. Even like I had bad trips on shrooms, and it was nothing compared to seeing my wrists bleeding. You know,
That is true.
it
Yeah.
was nothing compared.
Oh man.
When I took shrooms, I got a bit sad. When I did acid at that time, I thought I was dying.
I need to call my mom more. Just brings up shit you actually should do. Oh,
Yeah.
damn it, it's tax season. I've done nothing for it. Oh man.
I on the same note, I don't know if you've taken this. You ever taken one called sassafras?
Nope.
That's my personal favorite drug I've ever
That sounds
done.
like that sounds like weed with an attitude. Sassafras.
You're not too far off. It's this is Tara comes back into the story. It's she's from a place called Glastonbury. You know,
I've heard about the festival. Yeah.
There's a town, and the town is just populated by like hippies. Like that's the whole popular because they're all there. The people who stayed after the festival really is the town.
Yeah,
so everyone there is
they
like,
live or die by the glass.
It's like it's like a parallel dimension going there because everybody's a hippie, and they have like the most
bunch
rare
of communes. I take it.
Yeah, they have the most rare drugs. They and one time we went to Bristol because that's where she went to live for a while. And one of her friends from Glastonbury brought this stuff called sassafras. And when we looked at it, it was like it looked like a powder drug, but it was all green. It was like green powder.
Okay.
And she explained to us, she was like, "Okay, this is a plant from the rainforest that's been grinded up. That's all it is. It's just a grinded up plant. There's no processing, nothing on this. If we don't take it tonight, it'll go off in like 2 days. So fucking take as much as you want."
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Get it while you can. Element to it. Okay.
And you made like we wrapped it up in like Rizla papers and then swallowed the bomb. You know, and it was fucking unbelievable. It was super nice. I wasn't.
What was it like? Like what sort of drugs would it be like? Would you say?
It was a bit like MDMA, but like all organic. It's like the organic version, you know. It's like the bio version of MDMA. Like no animals were harmed in the making of this sassafras.
Yeah. That's a very funny saying. No animals were harmed.
No animals were harmed.
Oh,
there wasn't this processed garbage that you would be eating now.
Just even saying sassafras, it just makes you sound like just that extra bit like
If you need an example, we went to a rave, right? Me and Tara, like we do this drug, and we went to like a fucking heavy like drum and bass rave. Like the fucking everyone there was on a coke and MDMA and humping chairs and shit. It was like fucking dirty and disgusting and sweaty. We took the sassafras and then we sat outside the rave for like 3 hours straight and talked about our lives and where we're at.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really lovely. We didn't go into dance once. We didn't want to. We're just like, no, let's have lovely conversation with a really good friend. That's like what it does to you.
Oh, I see. I'm more in favor of those drugs. Like I think like
best drug I've ever taken by far.
I think like there's nights like that where it's like there's some nights where it's like, yeah, you know what, let's have like a high octane dance night, but more often than not, those are my types of nights.
Well, that's what we wanted. We wanted a high octane dance night, but the second the sassafras kicked in, there was just this unstoppable urge to have like really meaningful conversations.
Oh man,
it was absolutely lovely.
Which is great if you're with somebody like who's also on that, but if you're just that guy, that is the most insufferable person. If you're not on that wavelength, they're just kind of like, you ever think about society?
Well, no, it wasn't. No. It wasn't even like that. It wasn't like trying to have.
No, it's good that you did it with someone.
It wasn't like trying to have deep thoughts. It's just trying to build connections, which is really nice. Like I even talked to me and Tara ended up talking to a few strangers, and just like trying to be like, who are you? What's your story? Like, I want to know more about you. Seem like a good vibe and all this stuff. Like, you're just really nice and you really enjoy human connection. You really enjoy having stuff in common with people. Yeah. And it was just lovely. And it made sense for me that it was a rainforest drug when I took it, because the next morning I was like, okay, that makes sense, because this is like the fucking, when there was any issues in the tribe, the shamans probably doled this out, slung out a few bags, and then everybody sat down and talked it out.
Yeah.
It's fucking, that's 100% where it comes from.
That shows like the different types of societies that have drugs or don't, because other ones that don't is like Rome, and it's just kind of like, all right, well, you guys go in the Colosseum, and then one way or another, this problem's solved. One way or another, we don't have to worry about this drama anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so, but like if you have access to the drugs, it's like much more holistic and everything.
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome, man.
That was the best one. If you ever, it's pretty rare. Fine, because it just goes off like it's like just a plant, you know. But if you ever find it, I heavily recommend it, because there was no come down the next morning. There's no effect.
Nice.
Just wake up completely fine. I didn't have a single alcoholic drink that night. Didn't need it. I was just pinging, like my head was pinging. I was high energy and I wanted to have good conversations with people. It was lovely.
Oh man, that's sweet, dude. No, that's a good one. Like,
shout out Sassafras.
Shout out Sassafras.
Shout out Sassafras.
This podcast is brought to you by Sassafras.
Shout out Sassafras.
Sassafras. Oh my god, are you trying to have like a good time, but like not a great time? Then Sassafras is for you.
Welcome to Sassafras.
Sassafras and friends.
Sassafras and friends.
We're here to have a good time, but like not a long time, you know. It's just a fun name. It's good.
It's good. Yeah, Sassafras, high recommendation.
Sick. Okay.
What drug have you done that I haven't done?
Ooh, so we're getting to the big one there. I have done ayahuasca.
Oh, no. Shelve that.
Okay.
Is there anyone else you've done that I haven't done?
In Florida, there's a bunch of weird drugs. Like, I counted them. Like, I can't even keep track of them, though. But it's like, one of them was like bars, which is like a precursor to like Percocet or something like that.
I never even had Percocet. What's that?
It's just like chemically induced, like, days, but you're happy. Like, I wouldn't recommend it. It's just, it's like one of the, and then like lean is another one, like codeine.
You ever try lean?
Yeah, but that
dude, you ever sipping, man? You've been sipping,
bro. Here's the reason
you've been sipping.
This is the weird thing about it. Like
that lean.
This is the weird thing. I didn't do it like in a cool environment. Like, what happened was like my mom got sick with the flu.
Yeah, and
the doctor prescribed her is like, you know what you need is some codeine, and she's like, what? So she took one sip of it and she just didn't like it. So it was just in the room, and I was just like, well, so like, and this is like in Canada. I was like 21 at the time or something like that. I remember I did lean, and then I went to the gym, and I just felt like I was
trying to get lean.
Oh no, more literally. I was just like getting cut and lean at the same time. But like, it just felt like I was working out with The Secret, you know, where I was just like working out trying to act normal, but I was looking around like no one has no idea I'm partying right now. I wouldn't recommend these things. They're just kind of fucking. They're so like a few odd ones like that. Like they're not really worthy of note.
You ever done Xanax?
No, not saying
Papa Xanny. You ever done Valium?
Valium. I had a
ever done any sleepy pills? Because they're all the same category. They're all like downer pills.
I had one of those before. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was Xanax actually. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've done that before, and it's cool. It just tones down the stress of life. But it's like, but what is if you're prescribed it, it's good to get you through tough times and stuff like that. But you know, you still got to deal with your shit at some point. Solve the problem.
I did Valium once, and that was too good.
Really?
Yeah, I probably kind of swore to myself I'm not doing this again because it was kind of too good.
It just clicked too much for you.
Yeah.
What was it like?
I took a ferry home. I got 12 pills of Valium of a friend, and I did all 12 of them in the span of 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Too good.
That's a sign.
I would every time I would want to go to bed, it'd be like, you know, it's like 9 in the evening. You're like, I should go to bed, but realistically, I know I'm going to watch like 3 YouTube videos and go to sleep at 3 in the morning. Instead of doing that, I just pop a tab of Valium, and then like 30 minutes later, in the deepest sleep of my life. It was gorgeous. I took it on a ferry back to Germany, and I popped a Valium. I was like, oh yeah, I was sleeping. It'd be nice. I couldn't sleep straight away, so I went out to the deck to like have a look at the deck, and I sat down on a bench, and within like 2 minutes, I was asleep on the bench on the deck.
Wild.
Until like a staff member came and be like, hey, you can't fucking sleep here. You're gonna fall off the boat. Yeah, no worries. That's insane. It's just super good. All your muscles relax. You just want to sleep really nicely. You have no dreams. Dreamless sleep for like fucking 8 hours straight. It's amazing.
Well, I like that's the one that I hear like a bunch of like, I don't know, suburban people will try to get Valium if they're going traveling.
Yeah.
Like people that can't do flying, they'll go to their doctor, just be like, I need some help. They'll be like, yeah, you need some Valium.
But I can see how that's really addictive. Like even after that, after the 12, we're like, I want more.
Well, it's a problem though. Anything that like shuts you down like that, it's cool in the interim, but it's like, it's a slippery slope before it's like, okay, now you just slept for a straight year of your life.
Yeah. I'm never doing Valium again just because of that. It was just a little too good. I was like, this is a little too nice.
All right, well, if you get any, give it my way or something.
Okay,
no, just kidding.
No worries. All right, that's the downers. We've done the downers. We've done the Molly. A little bit on cocaine, maybe.
Cocaine? Never been my thing. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, if it's going around, I'll do it. But I've never bought cocaine or anything like that. I just think it's too expensive. And depending on the batch, like if you got like, if you got like really decent batches, like, this is what cocaine is like. But more often than not, I've done it. It must have been like really cut down. And it just kind of feels like a really, really intense cup of coffee. And it's just like, I could just get coffee if I wanted to feel like
I have a weird experience that I think it's because of the ADD. I've read about this online before, and I kind of related to it. So I was like, maybe there's something to it where like if you have ADD and you do cocaine, it's not the same. Because I do it, and I can get like a little boost of energy, but I mostly feel nothing.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I've taken cocaine and gone to sleep like 30 minutes later.
I think
no bother. Like,
see, it's hard for me to say because I'm not sure if it was like the batch, but I've had some bits like that as well. Like done it like in the bathroom of a club. Where else are you gonna do it? And then just been like, yeah, I'm down to go home 30 minutes after. Like I got like a bit of my dance out of system, and it's like that I'm good. Yeah. Like it's just never been for me.
It is. I'm gonna be honest. It is kind of nice. There's a reason it's so addictive and so popular. It is kind of nice, but it is also heavily overrated. It has. If we're doing a tier list of drugs, and we have like shrooms is like an acid are like A tier, they're like the high tier stuff,
Yeah.
And then stuff like fucking Molly and like fucking weed and like sassafras is B tier. I think cocaine would be like D. It wouldn't even be C.
As in your preference, you mean?
Yeah, well, no, just the best to take, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah.
I'd say cocaine is like D tier. It's not even up there. It'd be like cocaine would be for me. It'd be with alcohol. It's like, it's all right. Like, I like it. This reason is popular, but it's a bit overrated.
I see what you mean, yeah. And it's like, anytime I've done like those, like, Coke nights or something like that, or like, at the end of the club, you're hanging out with people. It's kind of like you're doing it because someone busted it out. And it's like, well, what else I got going on?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like not all the time, but it's like, all right, today's a Coke night.
Yeah,
You know,
I get you.
it's
I guess it's a fucking
I
Tuesday.
haven't done that in a few years. Yeah, I'm about due.
I guess today is a fucking Coke night. It's a fucking Tuesday. Might as well.
Yeah. It's just So, but
Hey, you
I've
wanna
never
do
gone out of my way for it. Not for me.
You're looking for a bit of cocaine.
Yeah.
You wanna
Just
do a
do
bit of cocaine?
pre-workout, man. If you want to get
Yeah.
energized, just like fucking take pre-workout. That stuff is effectively
What's
meth.
pre-workout?
That stuff people in the gym take, where it has this thing like called beta alanine, and a few things just basically open up your blood vessels. Like, it just makes blood rush. It's gear 2 in One Piece.
Is this
it makes you-
Kaioken?
Yeah, exactly. It just makes everything faster. Like, there's been times I've taken like maybe a half scoop too
is
much.
this
I'm
like
like, this is meth. I'm actually
Is this
on
like
meth.
a legal drug?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
Just buy it.
It's a gym thing. Yeah, honestly.
Jesus, dude, gym.
Pre-workout. That's what it is.
You gym bros are weird, man. You just have all this shit, man.
I don't do it anymore.
It's the same when fellow comedian, your housemate Dave Hogan, he always has like 50,000 pills on him. He's like, no, this will make your mind slower. This will make you faster. This will help you get over this.
I never got that. This will make your brain slower. This will make your brain faster. It's like, so right as you feel right now. Like, it's like, fucking, if we do all these things, like,
it's cool. I respect the medicine cabinet, but it seems I couldn't deal with it. To me, I want to take pills and drugs to get fucked up and then not take them for like another year. That's the way I deal with it. I would never take pills to like, give me a little boost right now. Just give me a little boost.
That's the flip side. That's the slippery slope. Where, like, if you need drugs to kind of like make you feel better, like they get you through the day, it's like you got an actual problem with your life. You need
just to
sort
clarify, Dave is not a drug addict. I made it sound.
He's not a drug addict. He's a drug enthusiast.
Yeah, he's just he's a shaman.
He's a shaman. Dave's not even his real name, as far as you know.
Yeah, he's called Jave.
Go fuck yourself.
Shave. Go fuck yourself. We've gone through a lot here now, and I think just to kind of recap before we get into the big one, which you were already trying to get into, but we gotta relax.
That's very
we've only been recording for over an hour.
Oh,
what
wow.
fuck,
and guess what, everyone?
by.
If you look at the video, you'll see Jay going,
oh my god.
That's why you gotta watch YouTube.
Just to get a little recap. So we started with LSD.
We started off pretty strong though. We started off with weed a little bit.
We started with weed, but that's whatever. That's like barely a drug.
Yeah.
Weed's like,
that's just a cool cigarette.
Yeah, weed. Weed, you either like it and it'd be nice for you or make you freak out, and then you can live the rest of your life by that. You know?
Yeah.
You try it once, okay, it freaks me out. I'll never smoke it again. Oh, I like it. I'll smoke it all through my life. That's it. Easy peasy, no problem. Japanese wife. And then the next one.
Graham Francis.
Shout out Graham Francis.
Graham Francis, go fuck yourself.
Graham Francis, go fuck yourself. Shout out Franciscan Well Comedy every Sunday. Anyways.
That's true.
Yeah, then why am I shouting out random comedy gigs in Cork City? No one's going to know them. Francisca's Well, Rebel Comedy, great spot for drugs.
Hey, Comedy Store, L.A.
L.A., great spot for cocaine.
Probably.
LSD, we said, is good, but make sure you're safe. Be in a safe environment. Molly, same thing. Make sure you're safe. Cocaine, bit overrated. Shrooms, class. Over 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
10 out of 10, man.
Same as all these other drugs, not all the time, but if they work for you, yeah, they're fucking.
Gym drugs, I don't know. That was your shit.
I did that for a while. I had a phase.
I'm not into that fucking white boy alpha bro
really,
stuff.
with that belly, you should be.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, John. I'm sorry. No, you can do you can just have the normal workout. Oh, I'm sorry. He's not that chubby. That was a mean one. I actually feel bad about that. Dan, you're beautiful.
I'm gonna start doing.
Sorry, I got a little bit sassy frassy.
I got this new diet going on, right? Which it includes taking heroin every single day.
We're gonna talk about heroin. Oh man, heroin?
You've never done heroin, have you?
No.
Of course, I have never either.
No.
Oh, we forgot one. Well, we'll do that in a second. We'll do the recap, and then we forgot one. We got one, but one very important one. All right, so shrooms class, sassafras class.
I got a point on heroin. Downers, I'll let you talk about that.
Downers first. A bit too good, but and I think alcohol is whatever. But we got ketamine. You got the horse tranquilizer, dude.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that shit's made for horses. That's a wild one.
Yeah, and it's so popular in Ireland. I think that's what happens when you have like a bunch of farmers.
Would you like to do a bit of ketamine?
Oh my god, I used to have a joke about that where I'd be like, because they have this thing over here in Ireland called Calvin Klein, where you do ketamine and cocaine at the same time.
Jesus, what the fuck?
And what? Because like they're the exact opposite ends of the spectrum. Ketamine just goes like,
I'll give you my quick fire opinion.
No doggy. And we have a dog.
Oh, there's a dog who just went. Hi, how we doing? We just got interrupted by a dog while we talk about drugs. That's brilliant.
Interrupted, more like improved upon.
A good visit. Ketamine is to me F tier. I think it's a terrible drug.
Yeah,
I think that's dog shit. Yeah. Honestly, I think ketamine is only popular because it has the illusion of being a drug, so people think it's kind of cool. But every time I see people take it, it's a disaster. I've seen people turn into monsters on ketamine. I've seen people turn into absolute depressed fools on ketamine. What
kind of monsters? Centaurs?
No. That's funny, though, because half horse.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. Ketamine is just a horrible drug. It's made for horses, not for humans. Do not be taking that shit.
Unless you're really cool. No.
Yeah. Or a horse.
Or a horse.
If any of you
are
or
even
horse,
better if you're a really cool horse.
Or a centaur.
Yeah. Centaur, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, centaur, go fuck yourself. Ketamine is shit. What do you have to say about heroin?
Well, no, when I was medical grade heroin, basically painkillers when you're in the hospital post operation. It's effectively heroin.
Yeah, that shit is good though.
No, 100%. And moderation. I had this one surgery when I was 17. I had part of my intestine taken out. Big deal because of Crohn's disease. But the thing is,
So you're effectively a semicolon.
Yeah. People say I'm full of shit. Just not entirely.
Hey! We brought it back. There was a bit of a lull there. It's all back. Bing bang.
Well, the thing is, that surgery, I was in so much pain. I couldn't even walk. I was just laying in bed. It's oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. And then what happens, they give you it's either fentanyl or medical grade heroin, but what it is, they put it intravenously into your vein. It's warm, so I could feel it as going up to my heart. Wow. As soon as it hit my heart, it just exploded through my whole body. I had to get up immediately, go to the bathroom to puke. But then as soon as I got up from puking, I was white girl wasted.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, all I want to do is fucking dance. I'm post-op, before, and I'm just oh my God, nurses are coming in, oh my God, you want to dance? They're you need to recover. I was just isn't dancing the best medicine of all?
That's fucking wild.
Literally,
man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that was intense stuff, but that was under the condition that
I've been under narcos in hospitals before, but I don't know what I took. But that shit is pretty intense because that's the purest shit, people do. You do stuff at house parties, you do stuff at nightclubs, you do stuff with druggy friends. The shit at the hospital is that's the high grade shit.
Yeah, that's Walter White,
yeah,
99 purity level stuff. Yeah, so again, that's a little bit of experience there. But I guess going back to maybe a bit of my reason why, I don't know, maybe I could handle some drugs there is because since I was dealing with that a couple times growing up, I dealt with medical grade heroin. So when I first tried shrooms or acid, I was oh well, it's not as bad as heroin, but there was a bit of the scale of it. I could deal with it a bit better just because fuck, I'd already done this stuff.
I think so ketamine we put in the F tier. Heroin, we don't have private experiences, but hospital drugs, S tier.
S tier, especially when a doctor tells you you need to take these, you're okay. All right, I'll take the hit.
All right,
I'll literally take the hit.
I think we should go to the headline event.
Big one.
We should go.
Bleep out the fact that I said it earlier just to keep the suspense.
No, that's fine. It's part of the charm. It's all pretty amateur.
Fair
so
enough.
Tell people what you were up to last weekend. No, before last weekend. 2 weekends ago, right?
No, it was last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend.
It was last weekend. Yeah.
Time moves different after you've taken it.
Yo, man. Well, they're gonna have to specify which dimension you're talking about, bro. I was in a lot of places and I was a lot of people at the same time.
Go on, spill the beans. Stop dancing on the top.
All right, no, man. I did ayahuasca for the second time last weekend, and that is one drug in particular where you need the conditions. Ideally, should be perfect. Where it has to be a bit of a ceremony. There has to be some people around watching you, stuff like that. And you have to go into it with the intention of actually wanting to get better. It's not a party drug,
Yeah.
And that's one thing that threw me off. I was in Vancouver.
It wouldn't be a party drug. That'd be pretty wild.
Yeah. No, the wild thing
out the ayahuasca at the gaffer.
Oh, the thing is, I was in Vancouver and they're what was it, last year at some point, and they were selling it at one of these shops. That's where it is in Vancouver. A lot of drugs decriminalized. So you just buy it at the shop. And I just thought to myself, for $400, you can buy ayahuasca. I just thought to myself, go on, why not?
And you thought to yourself, I'm trying to keep the conversation going. By the way, to the people who watching the video, we have been fucking killing this gin.
Yeah, well, Dan has. Yeah. He has a problem. But I'm... I'm more of a whiskey guy. I'll be drinking whiskey later.
Maybe have a small little problem.
I'm not huge.
I might have a tiny, weeny little problem.
Oh, my God. Alcohol. E tier.
E tier.
But gin, C tier. No, so the whole thing though is there's a whole ceremony, and again, going back to the one, it's not there's shops in Vancouver where you can literally buy it, and you can try your best to establish a vibe in your own house, but nah, man, it's something you really should go to a retreat and do the whole thing with proper like guides or as best.
Because that's what you did. You went to a different country.
Yeah,
I know how many details you can reveal, but you went to a different.
not many
country.
out of respect for them. and
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
like
but you went to a different country and you went to an organized retreat that was like hidden away. It was masqueraded as like a fucking wellness thing, but really
a yoga retreat.
Yeah, but really it was
Which is
drugs.
pretty funny because it's like people that might be looking around, looking at it. It's like, oh, like if we're walking outside, just being like, yeah, we're just enjoying nature and just feeling so beautiful.
I also want to make
sure.
I want to make sure I pronounce this. We can't give any details, but when I say you went to a different country, you didn't go to like Peru or like you went to like another shithole.
Yeah.
Just to clarify it.
I could say UK.
Yeah,
I'll
UK
say
is
UK.
that shows people how shit it was.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't like the full on like in the wilderness experience. But I had done an experience with them 2 years ago, so it's the same people. So like I knew what I was getting into this time. But I guess the first time I'll talk about it and we'll work forward. First time I did it, it was really cool because I went into it with the intention of like I'd been Puskin knew we all got shit we had to deal with.
That's it. Yeah.
And then the thing I like is that I had gone to therapy. This is what. Spoiler alert, I took a look at Cham. but I think a big reason why I could is because I had done therapy for 2 years before. So it's one of those things where it's like if you take a drug like ayahuasca and you haven't done therapy, you don't know yourself.
What was your?
You might possibly come to a revelation, but you're kind of shooting in the dark because you don't know what you're working.
What was your vision or like your view of ayahuasca before you took it for the first time? What was your expectation?
It was. Well, to be honest, like I guess it just goes back to movies. Like I was just thinking about like all those movies where like the camera is just like kept the guy's face. And to some degree, it was kind of like that. But I went into it just which I think is the right way to do it. I went into it with the observation like, listen, whatever happens, happens. Some people like we actually had another comic friend who did it. And he said nothing happened. All he did was shit his pants.
Yeah.
Some people, they take it, they have a bad time because they're like fucking dealing with stuff. Me, on the other hand, what I did is I went into it because I had done like 2 years of therapy, but I still felt like I had this little bit of like shit I needed to deal with. So I went in, I was like, all right, what do I do with like this last 10% of shit that like old habits, I guess you could say. And so when I first did it there, the drug itself, like the scene is that it's in the circle ceremony area. In the middle is like a little shrine to like Buddha. There's like candles lit, all the lights are off. There's like a bunch of like
trying to fucking Buddha or something.
No,
to like Buddha or something.
Yeah. Well, Buddha, the elephant guy.
And the minute there was a second. In a minute was some shrine to some fucking bullshit. I don't.
Yeah. Kevin Conroy was in there. I was like, all right, well, I'll just roll with it.
And in the middle there was a shrine to the bus from the movie Speed. I don't know what that was about.
Ian McGregor. I didn't have it in my heart to tell him. No, Ian McGregor from Attack of the Clones. I didn't have in my heart to tell him that wasn't Jesus. I was like, you just enjoy that. But like they did establish a vibe.
Oh, nice.
They did that, and like they had the clarity of like just telling us about it beforehand, like what's gonna happen. So the fact is like you take 2 drugs, 2 serums, whatever they call it, medicine. That's not fun. But like I had to burp. But what it is like the first serum. They both taste like garbage, but the first one tastes better. The first one tastes like gone off kiwi juice.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why that is because you have to take the first one because what that does is it neutralizes enzymes in your stomach. Because if you just drank ayahuasca, your stomach would just eat it up and you wouldn't get anything. You need to neutralize part of your stomach first. So you have to, and both of them make you want to puke. So you're just sitting there like, you have to sit there for 15 minutes and just try not to puke. This is where people like maybe do some meditation.
Yeah.
Just like deep breathing, a little bit of light stretching.
So really, it wants to come up. That's what you're telling me. And you have to focus on really keeping it down. That sounds horrible.
True, yeah, but it's a time game though. Yeah. It's like it's gonna come up eventually, but like the longer you let it sit, the more it's gonna get in your system, and the more you're gonna actually have that. So you take the first one. The first one's not that bad. The second one, that's the motherfucker. Like it tastes like puke squared. You just drink, you're like, But then, like, also, I sat against the wall. I just sat upright and just let gravity do its work. Some people laid down. I had no idea how. Like, that would have just made...
Yeah.
I would have just puked on myself.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that sounds like a fucking disaster. Why would you lay down?
Yeah. Thankfully...
What were you doing?
I was leaning against the wall, and I was just, like, just kind of, like, keeping my eyes closed. And it's cool. Like, there's certain rules where, like...
It was the second time you did it, was it easier to keep it down than the first time? Was it, like, in a room where, like...
case by case. Like,
yeah.
So I've done it, like, each time I've done it, there's, like, 2 nights. So it's like, I'd say it just varies, What I did do that helped is like, I didn't eat much the day before or of the journey.
Yeah.
Because the less it's in your stomach, the less you're risking to puke some shit out. And so basically you just let it hit your system. And then for me, so I can remember it very vividly because it happened last week. But like, what happens, like it's cool because like, you know, you go into it like a mindfulness headspace. You're like, I am going to deal with this issue. I'm going to concentrate on my breathing. But what happens is like when you're dealing with the puking, all that goes out the window because you're just trying not to puke.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, it actually brings down your barriers.
It grounds you a little bit, like
a bit, yeah. And then like any sort of preparation you think goes out the window because you're just trying not to puke.
That's very interesting to me because it sounds like even the beginning of it is such a.
It's a journey. It's
such
like,
a journey because
it's
like,
a cliche, but it is a journey.
You do fucking any other drug, you just take it and then you wait for it to kick in. But this sounds like you have to go through a lot before you even get there. You know?
Yeah.
A lot of a struggle before you get to the good stuff.
Yeah,
might be why it feels so good.
Well, I guess it's also like the payoff as well.
You have to climb the hill to enjoy the view, like
yeah, exactly. You know, like it ain't free. Like you can get some cool stuff out of it, but it ain't free. So you like, you know, and then I remember the actual sensations that I felt. So like at first, I don't know why I felt it in my arm first, just a little bit of like warmth, and it's like, oh, and then what happens is your whole body starts to sway.
Yeah,
and you're just like that. And I remember humming a good bit. Oh. I'll get to this later, but I was singing a song that was a banger, but it was like my mantra for the night. But then what happened is like
you made up your own song.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a popular song. And it'll blow your head back, but it's a banger.
That's better. That's better. I thought you were just just making up your own song.
No, I did do that. I did do a little bit of humming where I can't remember exactly what it was, but like you know what I did?
Ayahuasca is fun. Well, ayahuasca in my tum.
Yeah.
Ayahuasca is fun.
Ayahuasca. I mean, it might as well have been that because it's like when you're doing that.
Waka waka, waka. It's time for ayahuasca.
I want to gag. I want to choke. I want to hear that press in the back of my throat. It might as well have been that. Like,
get a bucket and that mop for that wet ass vomits
medicine or whatever. Oh god, so that. Oh my god.
What a gag.
That's actually weirdly on brand. I want to gag.
If you started going into WAP by Megan Thee Stallion in the middle of the ayahuasca retreat, I think everybody would be like, this is the coolest motherfucker.
They might as well have. I'll just jump to it, I suppose. So last weekend, the song guess what it was? It was fucking I'm Just Ken.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. And there's one specific part.
Really?
Yeah. There's one specific part of the song that I just like, because I was driving to the venue. Yeah. I was like listening to like the playlist that I had last time, but I had a gut feeling. I was like, I'm going to throw I'm Just Ken in there. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And there's a specific part that was like my mantra for the night where he's just like, I'm just Ken and I'm enough and I'm great at doing stuff. And I was like, yeah, man, I am great at doing stuff. Don't ask me specifics, but yeah, sure.
That's unreal.
So I was like humming that the whole night. And then, so when it actually starts hitting, I'm kind of half mumming that and then everything. And then I fell over to the side, got my blanket over me. And then I kind of jumped past this. But what it is like, you're given like a sleeping area and you're like in a circle, but it's like, don't talk to anyone. This is your journey.
Yeah.
Very individual. So I was just doing that.
So what happened? What happened to your mind?
So I first got all cuddled, and for me, it was like this again, where like I took it like a champ. Because I just felt like
you were Ken enough.
Literally, I am Ken enough, and I'm great at doing stuff. And then like I was just like curled up, and I just felt like so loved and joyful and everything like that. And then I'm gonna be bouncing back and forth between the two trips because like there's things to take away. So like the first one was super profound. Like the first trip I had with it, because that was one where it's like a stereotypical like interdimensional journey where like, and thankfully since my experience with drugs, I know you just go with it. So literally I closed my eyes and my brain was just going through black holes. I was going through different dimensions. I saw like quasars, novas. I saw these different beings, and I was just like, fuck, this is sick.
Yeah.
But that first time anyway, I'll go back to that one where like, again, like this is a cool thing about ayahuasca I don't think you'll find with too many other drugs is you can actually have a dialogue with it. Like, I don't think you can say to shrooms like, hey shrooms, what do you think about this? Like, but ayahuasca, you can actually be like, you know, I remember asking, it's called Mother Ayahuasca or whatnot, but it might as well be God or it's just your subconscious. It doesn't even matter what it is because it just is. But I remember asking it that first time. I was like, no, hang on. I went through all this therapy and stuff like that. Mother Ayahuasca, but I still got this gunk here. What do I do with it? And it just showed me a vision of like this black tar and then like a very like, I don't know, 70s neon sort of drain. And the tar just fell through. And I was like, okay, that's cool. No, but seriously, what do I do with all this trauma and shit I'm dealing with? And it just showed me that again.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, I just let it go? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, that's it? She's like, that's it. And then as soon as that clicked, I was like, oh.
Very profound, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's simple, but it was like just so quick. Like you can, and there's like a lesson there. You can just, it's like hanging on to shit like that. If you're dealing with trauma, yeah, it can be, you need to work through it. But like,
so
it's a choice to hang on to it.
Your first trip was like teaching you how to let go of trauma. Then your second trip
Buddha.
Was teaching you how to be in tune with being a himbo.
More or less, yeah. Oh, I leaned into it. And the thing is, like,
that's two very different experiences, but that's very dope. I like that a lot. That's fucking dope, man.
Because there's so much
that's so awesome.
I don't know, because there's so much acceptance.
I like to think that fucking Mother Ayahuasca was like, okay, wait, this guy sorted out his problems the first time. Now it's just time to, give him a bit of an honest opinion. Show him who he is.
For the most part, but you just lean into it. And
that's unreal, man. That's so cool.
Yeah. And the cool thing is like, the guy, the one of the main shamans, the husband and wife, the guy, he had this really profound thing that I just understood, where it's like, because he had done a lot of it throughout the years. So he said, like, you can go through all these black holes and different dimensions and everything like that, but you get to this point where you realize, like, the coolest place you can be is right here, right now, in your body, in this earth. And I got that, where, like, the second day when I did the journey, it felt like it was a mental switch. If I wanted to, I could go through black holes, go through a cool trip, but I just thought, like, no, right here's fucking cool. And it just become like so self-accepting and loving and everything.
Yeah,
like
so it was a really positive trip this time.
100%.
Really nice.
And again, though, like that's why people are like studying MDMA, ayahuasca, psilocybin to fix trauma, because like it helped me carve out like new neural pathways. I know, who knows? Maybe I did meet an actual God. Maybe it was just all in my head. Whatever it is, it was positive.
Was it Kanye?
No, he was there. Nah, he was there.
He was there. Yeah.
He was there. It's just like, I'm a fucking genius. I was just like, Kanye, you need to do more.
So in the overall ranking with all the other drugs, where would ayahuasca go?
Best one, but I wouldn't do it a lot. Like I did it once 2 years ago, and I did it.
That's the right way to do it, is to go for the proper retreat experience.
Oh man, no, I remember the retreat experience. But then, I mean, I'm kind of like blowing one guy's proportion out there. But like, I remember telling you about the first journey. There was this one guy, and what happens is like you do the journey, and then there's like a speaking circle after.
Yeah, you talk about your experiences.
Yeah, exactly, and like you talk about how profound it is. There's this one guy there, like last year, like 2 years ago, and he was talking about like, I just wanted to grab ayahuasca, and I just want to say, like, what is this thing I'm afraid of? He had a really profound and beautiful message. But then I found out that he had done it like 17 times at that point. Yeah. And I interpret that as like revelation chasing. It's like, if you haven't found it actually yet, you know what I mean? Like, what are you actually going for?
I have, I think I have our finisher here, because I prepared a little something for you. I was gonna.
Okay, I'm not done yet, but all right.
Well, you want to talk about? I mean, we have like fucking 5 minutes left to record.
Shit, all right.
We've been doing this for like nearly 2 hours, man.
Are you serious? Bro, that's sick. Okay. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Okay, no.
Get out your chest. What else you want to get out your chest?
So for that guy, anyway, I'll wrap it up there. But like that same guy 2 years ago, I had the thought about. He was there this time as well, so he's probably on trip 97. Yeah. And it's like, you know what? He seemed a bit more accepting of it, but for me, I got that journey where I just felt like this time around, I just didn't go through black holes dimensions. I just felt so self-content and loving for myself. And I was like, yeah, this guy right here is absolutely cool. I'm very thankful. I met God for a bit as well. And I actually, it was cool. It was like,
how did you meet him? He's not real.
Well, he was in my head. So really? Can you tell him? But he, it was a conversation. He, she, it, whatever.
We all know God's a hard-working black woman, okay?
What was the name of the drug again? Sassafras.
Sassafras.
Sassafras. But I remember you can have a dialogue with it where I was saying like, take me to. I remember one time I was like, I felt so good, like I was like, take me to hell, because I want to see what this loving person would do in the face of like true evil. Yeah. And it showed me like all these demons and monsters. But I could kind of see through it and just see a sad little puppy. And I was just like, look this demon in the face, like, oh, you little cute little guy. Like, I can't hate this guy, It was really cool. I could stare evil in the face and just be like, you're just hurt. Bullshit meter. Yeah. All right, fair enough. I'll give you that. That's a side effect of ayahuasca. It makes you insufferable.
We should introduce this is the bullshit meter.
Yeah, there's a story there. We'll get into that on the next
We'll get another part, but I have something prepared that I want to get into.
Go for it, man.
Ayahuasca-wise. Because I was talking about this. There's this girl on TikTok who makes music Have you ever heard of spiritual psychosis? Do you know what that is?
No, but I get the gist of it.
Yeah, it's a psychosis induced by like perceived spirituality, where you do a lot of drugs, you think you're very spiritual, but it actually ends up giving you the symptoms of psychosis. And this girl is like very clearly affected by it, and she makes music for other people. She made a song about ayahuasca recently, and I just wanted to show it to you.
Okay.
To show you what you should not turn into.
All right, sounds good. I'll do what I can. I'll try to course correct.
I watched this. It's like a 30-second TikTok, right? Don't speak during it because I'll edit it in the video later for little viewers. Wow, look at you ripping off your head.
Fucking terrible.
And then you can tell me what you think after. But
I've been chilling in the mountains of Peru, drinking ayahuasca with the shaman stew. Cup of champagne to shift the mood. I've been learning about myself, finding out my truth. I've been healing my soul, tried the best medicine. I've been learning shit from the aliens, like how we're all connected to the pyramids, and how we used to use them for time traveling. Now I'm astral projecting, remembering how to navigate the ether. Sound heals didgeridoo, singing bowls every lyric. Medicinal truth, sound transforms DNA. My mind's making things move. Whoa. Kidney infection, I heal that too. I've been doing things your brain can't compute. They'll say it's magic, but you could do it too. Just open up your heart and let it channel through.
You know what? I mean, it's a nice song. I'll give her that.
do you think you can heal your kidney affection by yourself? Like, do you think like if you have a spiritual way, you just kind of make some nice sounds and your kidney affection is healed?
No, I do think the power of the mind is powerful. Where you
can heal your kidney infection. Well, I think you should probably go see a doctor if you have a kidney infection.
Oh, absolutely. No. If you're already there. But the thing is, like, healthier, happy people, they just don't get sick as much. But just filling your head up with like happy stuff doesn't make you a healthy person. Well, it's like a whole lifestyle.
She said that sounds affect the DNA. And that she uses sounds to change her DNA, and that's how she cured her kidney infection. She also said that she was talking to aliens who told her that we used to use the pyramids for time traveling.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you not pick that up?
Shit. Well, no, I didn't get that at all.
No, you didn't get that while you're doing ayahuasca? You didn't chat to the aliens about the pyramids? You were like, hey, bro, just so you know.
I might have had a few aliens there, but it's just
hop into that pyramid, you can travel back in time.
I wouldn't want to go into time travel. Like, the rest of the history is kind of shit, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you meet any people like that? People who are like a bit mental after their spiritual awakening?
Not necessarily, but I know those. I know that kind of type of people, and the way I describe it is like those people are not trying to. I don't know her journey, but like the way I see it, some people are more focused on appearing to be spiritually enlightened. You
can be mean. Her dad definitely works for like Raytheon or somthing.
Right.
Like, it's so obvious that her dad is like the CEO of a weapon manufacturer or something. Yeah. Like, how else would you have the money to do this shit?
Fair, yeah. Well, I guess
her dad owns Johnson & Johnson. Like, relax.
Fair. Well, the thing, all right. So the way my thesis and stuff like that is like there are some people out there who are more focused on appearing to be spiritually enlightened, whereas the people that are, I don't know, a bit more authentic with it, they're not going around telling people how enlightened they are. Like, it's who you are and what you do, not what you say to people.
Yeah, I agree, and I find that always like I actually do not judge people who are all spiritual stuff. I think shit is just cool, do what you want, but shit like this annoys me. It really annoys me because it feels like it's more the aesthetic, and to me it feels like it's losing what it's about. Like, people, like, it's the same, and there's so many people who say they're spiritual now, or they're into spirituality, and then they're the same people who like fucking, oh man, I'm starting my own business and shit like that. It's like, you can't.
Oh, no. Anytime you hear that and it's like, buy my merch right after, it immediately taints it.
Because spirituality, when it was invented by the monks, it was an antithesis to capitalism. That was like an integral part of it. They invented it because they thought the capitalist greed of wanting to have belongings ruins your spirituality. So you can't actually be fully spiritual if you believe in capitalism. You can't. That just doesn't work. That's just like an antithesis. It'd be like being like, hey, I'm a huge fan of Karl Marx, but I'm also starting up the small business. Yeah. Like, that's not how it works.
It's like taking a jet to an environmental conference and then saying to everyone need to stop using plastic. It's like, you immediately sullied your own message.
Yeah, it's like Taylor Swift.
Kinda, yeah. Era, go fuck yourself.
Era, sure, everybody.
That's the name of the tour. Era, go fuck yourself.
Sure.
That's when she comes to Dublin. That's an Era, go fuck yourself.
If you take ayahuasca, don't become that lady. Become like this guy.
Well, again, like I think it worked for me because I did therapy first, and then I did it, and like it just worked really well for me. Like the stars aligned. There's some people there where it doesn't work as well,
And
but
you don't sit in your van and make mediocre music about healing your kidney
I
infections.
will once I get that van. I'm on my way. You notice his hair? Oh my god! Like, don't be wrong. I'm aware of that. Like, I could start a cult tomorrow if I wanted to. Like, it would. I got the hair for it. I've done the ayahuasca. I know the trigger words. Like, I could do it tomorrow. I'm just like one rent payment away from being like, all right, guess I'm starting a cult now. Like,
Yeah, you could do
and
it.
this academy.
You could be the next Waco.
Waco.
Yeah, I think the Waco.
We're like, no way, bro.
The Waco siege would have been even more of a disaster. Everybody was on ayahuasca trying to shoot the cops.
It just would have been a bit more of a mess.
Yeah,
They would have drank the serum and puked it up.
yeah.
Everyone would have been fine.
So I guess we should
That's a weird note to leave it on. Fair enough. Drugs are cool.
We should-
Waco's bad.
we should wrap this up. We've been
Yeah, man, this is a
recording
long
for
one.
ages.
Thank you guys very much.
But it was
for
good. I think
hearing us
this
and
might have
everything.
been the best recorded so far, and that was really fun.
Out of all two,
Yeah,
yes.
well, out of the two we've recorded.
Yeah.
But this is be careful with your drugs, kids, children. Do not take them at nightclubs. Do not take them at parties. To a chill, nice environment, and then have fun.
man.
And if you think you're laying an egg, keep pushing.
Keep pushing. That's a more of a metaphor for life, you know? Just just keep on going.
I think the most important thing with drugs is that
When you go through childbirth, keep going.
if you think you wanna try them, get into the right environment, make sure it's safe and nice, and then just give it a go.
Give it a go.